This is the plaintiff, John Storts. He says he loaned the defendant money to help with her divorce, and the woman used him. That's right, she feigned romantic interest in him, got his money, and now won't pay him back. He's suing his sweetheart swindler for $5,175, the amount she got out of him. This is the defendant, Barbara Carol Powless. She says she made it clear she and the plaintiff were just friends. But when he got all sexual on her, she told him they needed to part ways, so she cut him off. As far as the money goes, he offered to help her out. She accepted a gift. That's that. She's accused of being a gold digger.
All parties, please raise your right hand. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Leon is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mr. Storts, you are suing Ms. Powless, who, according to you, used to date for $5,175 because you loaned her some money and she has not repaid you, correct?
Correct.
All right, tell me how you two met.
It was about April of 2019, I met her husband, and I'd go to their house off and on, and that's when I seen Carol there at the house. I would just say hi to her, and that's how we met there.
And then do you strike up a friendship with the defendant?
No, not then, no. We just said hi, and that was about it. Not a big deal. And then January 2020, right in there, I was at the casino, and Carol was there, because I go there and watch the dance. She come up and asked me to dance. And she was with the group, so we went back to the group, we danced. And then probably a couple of weeks later, we talked on the phone, a week or two later, whatever it was. Then from there, we just started going out.
Okay, and how long did you go out?
We've been going out, it was till, probably July, from probably January, February till July.
And what happened in July?
In July, I was going to go over there. She had just gotten back from a weekend trip or something like that. Wherever she went, I don't know. And I was going to go to her house because I'd got her a flower and some candy, and went past there a couple of times. Didn't see anything because sometimes her son will take the car. And I don't remember whether the car was there or not, but I went past there. And then I texted her, and some guy answered. Oh, he texted me back. He said, "What do you want?" Yeah, exactly. That's what I said too.
Okay, but clearly something happened before that, or you wouldn't be there with flowers and candy, and trying to figure out who else she's there with. So had you guys broken up, or?
Well, the week previous, we had went to dinner, and we had ate, and I said, "Is there anything that you don't like about me?" Because we had a group called the Six Pack. I was coming a little bit late on Friday and Saturday to those events. We'd go to each other's house, play cards, and listen to music and dance, and that was about it. And from what I understand, she didn't like me coming there late. And we had dinner that previous week, like I said, and I asked if there's anything else you don't like about me. She said, "No, that's it." And that was the last I seen of her, was that day right there. That was it. That was the last day. Then she went away for the weekend. At some point
during the time that you dated, she ended up telling you that she needs some money for a divorce?
Yeah, in April, she had said that she needs some money to continue her divorce. That's what the attorney told her. And Carol said she needs to get some subpoenas out. And she asked if she could borrow some money. I said yes.
How much money did you loan her?
$5,175 with the 3.5%. The vendor charged the attorney 3.5%.
Okay. All right. So the vendor charged the attorney. So the amount that you loaned her was $5,175. Is that correct?
Yes, on my credit card. And I told her many a times I pay it off every month. I need this as soon as possible. So that's what happened. And
what did she tell you? If she didn't have the money for the lawyer, how was she going to have the money for you in 30 days? What did she say?
Right.
How was she planning on getting it?
She gave me her pension papers and said she would cash that in. And I got her the papers. She got the papers. She said she sent them in to get her money out. And that was the last I heard of that.
Okay. And that all happened in what month?
She said she received the papers, I think it was in June. And then in July, she said she sent them in.
And then when did she dump you?
I would say July.
Okay. Ms. Powless, what's going on?
Some of that's true. John was working with my soon-to-be ex-husband. Seen him in the house, no big deal. And my ex-husband, soon-to-be, told me he has no friends, he's a loner. His big excitement is sitting in the parking lot at Myers or Walmart listening to the radio. So I had seen him at the casino, said, hey, do you want to come sit with us? That was it. There was no relationship. Of course, then COVID hit, and I created what we call Patrick's Pub in my basement. The friends and I came over, we played cards, played pool, things like that. John offered the money. I never asked him for any money because I had no way to pay it back. And as far as my retirement, I had asked him previous to that, back in March and April, to look into it on the tax part. I cannot cash anything in or do anything with that because I'm in the middle of a divorce. He knows that. He knows I can't turn that in. I can't take anything from it. And I told him I have no way to pay back. At one point, he even talked about buying my house because I was in a spaz about the house payment, where am I going to live, what's going on? And he was like, well, maybe I can, find a way to buy it. And I said, well, then I could buy it back after this is over. And he actually said, I will give it to you. And of course, that was, I didn't pay any attention to that. But there's no relationship. And in July 4th, I had a party.
He was clearly smitten with you, and he thinks he did have a relationship. It's usually pretty easy to tell. Were you guys romantic, or weren't you?
No.
We kissed.
Did you
and
kiss?
I got a cup here to show you, too, she got me. Love is brewing.
Love is brewing. Can I just ask you a question, though? People don't go around dropping $5,000 gifts on each other, usually. If it was $50, $100, I can understand that. That is a whole lot of money for someone to drop on you. Are you telling me that he was just trying to buy your love so hard that he gave you $5,000 for your divorce?
I think he was trying to buy something else.
Okay.
More than just attention. And I'm not that way, and nor had no interest in a sexual relationship with him, even though he had...
Mr. Storrs, do you have a... Even though what? Go ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh, I have emails asking what kind of underwear I wear, and he was horny, different things like that. But...
would you guys text as well?
Yes.
Sometimes, yeah. July 4th, I had a party that he came to that he wasn't invited, and he was asked to leave.
Wait, in April you're taking $5,000 from him as a gift. You would think that he would be your favorite person. So when did you decide you didn't want him around anymore? I presume it's after the $5,000, but...
When it got to be weird.
When did it get to be weird, and how?
Of what kind of underwear do you wear? And again, like I said, I felt he was trying to buy something else, but never did I ask him for money. And as he knows, I have no way to pay it back.
How do I know that you didn't tell him about your retirement, assume you were going to cash your retirement, and then your lawyer told you, what are you, nuts if you do? I don't see why there's a difference. If you're married, that your retirement, either your spouse has a right to it or your spouse doesn't have a right to it. But, why are you sending him your retirement information? I'm looking at these emails, and you're saying, I've sent in all the information, and the minute I get the check, I will contact you. Take a look at this is a message. This is in July. I have sent in all the information, and the minute I get a check, I will contact you. What were you referring to, sweetheart?
As far as taxes, he does taxes. So I had asked
when you get a check, you'll let him know?
How do I do the taxes? But again, my attorney...
No, I need you... Ma'am, stop. Read this message. Can you read it, or you want me to read it again to you?
I'm sorry.
I have sent in all the information, and the minute I get the check, I will contact you. What check are you talking about? You're talking about the retirement check.
Yes, but that's not correct. On July the 4th, I had a party.
No, I don't want you to just talk. I want you to explain this text, because here's what I think. I think that you got the money from him by saying that you will cash in your retirement. And then you decided not to cash in your retirement and to go like this. And that's how it's looking. So you can't just repeat yourself over and over and say the same thing. He was giving me advices about tax, blah, blah, blah. You can't say that, because I'm looking with my eyeballs, and who am I going to believe, you or my lying eyes? I'm looking with my eyeballs at this. I have sent in all the information, and the minute I get the check, I will contact you. So, what else could you have meant other than that your plan was to cash in on your retirement, which you might have, in fact, done? And now you just don't want to pay back the money.
I didn't ask for the money. And as far as
Can I ask you something, Mr. Stortz? When you
Yes.
loan somebody $5,000, does it occur to you to write down a promissory note?
Well, she said she would pay it back, and then she gave me that paper, and she gave me her word.
Yeah, we have a name for people like that. We call those people litigants. She gave you what piece of paper?
The retirement stuff.
No. See, what you want is a promissory note so that people can no longer argue in court that it was a gift because she's so sexy and delicious. You see? That's what you want. And
Right.
no, well, I mean, really, you're a fool. So you should not be loaning anybody else any money without saying, here, sign this promissory note. Oh, at a minimum, do you have any texts where she's asking you, can you loan me, or hey, I'm going to send you the $5,000, it's a loan, let's establish when you're going to pay it back, send that email or text traffic back and forth, just something to show that something is a loan and not a gift. And, you do have stuff about the retirement information, but this is, I can read between the lines, I get it. But seriously, the next time, just don't loan out $5,000 because you like somebody and they don't like you enough back. According to him, he came to your house with flowers and candy. And what happened that day, Ms. Palace?
I wasn't home the day he says that he came by, but that's not uncommon. He stalked me and came by my house quite often, so.
And what happened? He says he found someone else there and he was shocked and appalled. What say you?
Did you find someone else there? No, I don't hear. I'm sorry, I don't understand that.
No, I'm sorry.
Didn't say that.
He says that he went and that he found another guy there and he was surprised. All that's nonsense because he shouldn't have been surprised?
He never came to my house when another guy was there.
Okay. But he would come to your house unannounced?
He has.
You said he stalked you. How did he stalk you?
I had to get the police involved because he kept driving by my house. He actually even went to my friend's house, stood outside of her garage, and listened to her on the phone because she'd talk in the garage and smoke her cigarettes. And he laughed because he thought it was me on the phone. He started harassing my friends. The police called him several times, and as soon as they would say Grove City Police, he'd hang up. So again, there was another place. I was at a concert, and that amazingly, my ex-husband knew that I was going to be there, and he shows up. I have the police say, you need to leave me alone. You can't keep harassing me.
Who's harassing you now, your ex-husband or him?
Well, I have a protection order against my ex-husband. But John was driving by my house at all hours. I have cameras. He was going to my friend's house. He was calling them. And I even have a message where I said, you need to stop driving by.
Okay.
And again, Grove City.
All right. That may be annoying, and you may find him annoying, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But my job here is to figure out whether I believe you when you say it was a gift. Number one, the amount doesn't look like a gift. This is an awful lot of money. So the circumstances don't tend to tell me that it's a gift. Number two, I see repeated texts where you say to him that you're sending him the retirement information. You must have realized that just before court, because all of a sudden now, I'm sending him retirement information so that he can, so that he can give me advice. But I know that's a lie because I see in one of those texts that you say, I sent in all of my paperwork and I'll let you know as soon as I get the check. That tells me that you are lying, Ms. Palace. And I am ordering you to pay Mr. Storks the $5,175 because it was very clearly a loan and not a gift. That is my judgment.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff wins big time in this case. He's going to get $5,175 from Ms. Palace, the defendant. Ma'am, let me ask you, what's your reaction to the judge's decision? What do you think?
Well, I'll whatever she says, but I disagree.
Well, you still say it was a gift, not a loan. The judge disagrees, and you're going to have to give him the money. I'm sorry, but that's the court's decision, and you got to live with it. Okay, Mr. Storks, let me ask you: do you feel better now? I mean, it sounds like you were smitten with her. How would you describe it? Were you or were you not?
Well, when we first met, all of us went out. We went back to her friend's house, and she wanted to do something in the car when they all got out. I didn't want to. So,
yeah.
But no, she liked me a lot. That's why I say she got me this cup here. It says, love is brewing. She had sent me email or text with her like a blouse or a couple sexy things on, stuff like that. She's called me her stud, things like that all the time. So we'd always go out. She had asked me to go up to her bedroom a few times in the house. That was about it.
One other quick question. She said one of your favorite things to do is sit in the Walmart parking lot listening to the radio. Is that true? And if so, why?
Because what I do, I take care of my mother. She's 96. So in the evenings, I get out a little bit, go listen to the radio, listen to talk shows, and go to a few friends' house. And if they're not in, just to get out of the house. That's all I do. That's it.
Okay. Well, congratulations. You're going to get the money after all. And hopefully you have learned something from this. All right.
Yes.
Let's wrap up the case. Harvey, what do you think?
Okay, Doug, well, here's the thing. You have a contract. It can be an oral contract, it could be a written contract, but oftentimes the winner and the loser in a court case isn't determined by that agreement. It's determined by what is said outside the agreement. In this case, and in so many other cases, what you text back and forth is going to talk about what your true intent was and what the agreement was really about. So these text messages, honestly, they are make or break.
Hey, judges, what is the one piece of advice you would give to an aspiring law school student? Thanks, Anna.
Anna, the most important thing every aspiring law school student needs to understand is it's not like what you see on TV. The actual work day to day of being a lawyer is a little bit different. They always try to make things look a little better, a little sexier, a little more interesting when you're watching a movie or a TV show. And I would suggest, hey, go to work for a law firm, a state attorney or district attorney's office, a public defender's office, someplace in the legal realm where you can work either as a paralegal, as a law clerk, as an intern, as something, so you can get your feet wet and figure out, hey, do I really want to do this?
Yeah. And then you get a real taste of whether law school is something that you want to do.
And you did that. You were an intern at a state attorney's office while you were still in college, am I right?
While I was in college, I did college work study at the Dade County State Attorney's Office when Janet Reno, who would later become Attorney General under Clinton, she was the state attorney.
Right.
And I went to law school because I wanted to be a state attorney. I did not want to be a lawyer in a law firm or anything else. It was the one job that I really, really wanted.
Your mind was pretty much made up.
Yeah. But the point is, if you're going to invest 3 years of your life in that kind of money and debt, just make sure it's the job that you want. And I love it. Right. He loves it. My daughter loves it. Just make sure that you're going to love it.
That's for sure.